Got it figured out? Oh, that's good. All right, welcome everybody. I'm Corey with CVMA. Welcome to our next live class that we got going on here. Hopefully everybody out there is staying well during our quarantine, and hopefully everybody's out there training along with us. We really didn't get anything as far as what you guys want to see, so we're gonna continue and finish out the different defensive escapes we were working on Monday. So we're going to go through the couple that we did at the end of the last video again, and then move into some additional ones as we go here. So we're also going to add a couple variations in order to show some different things, like if you're taller, your opponent's taller than you, or maybe has a little bit of a strength advantage. Some things you can do, some different ways to escape if the one that we showed last week or on Monday doesn't quite work. So we kind of go through that stuff today. If time permits, we may go back and just add some fundamental work into some of these escapes. So some of the things we talked about on the first self-defense class that we had. So the stuff like getting offline, taking the 45 step forward or back, and add those components into some of these escapes, and then get into more of a live action type scenario if time permits. But we'll get through the small pieces first here, and then work our way through. So we'll go ahead and get started. If you want to clear out a spot in the room of your choice there. I'm going to give you guys a minute here as we go to warm up and get the body loose before we start moving into everything. Again, if you're out there with us today, hit us up in chat. Let us know you're out there. If you have questions throughout the class, ask them in chat. They'll stop me, and we'll get them answered live on the air here. So it just helps us out if you have any questions. I know it's hard when you're working out with us to then pause and come back and type in chat. But if you do have any questions, make sure you take that opportunity to ask them here. Or if you find that you have questions after the event, put them in the comments of that stream, and then we can go back and take a look and get your questions answered. So before we start, let's just take a minute on your own, just kind of move around a little bit, get yourself warm and awake. All right, let's go ahead and start here, and then we'll get to some warm-ups. So we'll start in rest position. Strut, together, vignette. All right, so let's go and just go through our standard warm-up. Just for the sake of mixing it up a little bit, we'll go the other direction. So we'll start high and work our way low. So, and just stand up straight here. Take your head, nice and easy, look to the left. And back to center, good look to the right. And back to center, left one more time. Back center, and right one more time. And back to center. Now go ahead and take the chin all the way to the chest. And bring your eyes all the way up to the sky, head back. Again, chin down to the chest. And again, head all the way up. Head back to center, take the left ear to the left shoulder. And up, right ear to the right shoulder. And up, left ear to the left shoulder. And up, and right ear to the right shoulder. And back up. All right, so we'll work our way down the body. So we'll start at the shoulders. Just nice and easy to rotate the shoulders back. And then forward. All right, work your way into the elbows. Just rotate the elbows. In the other direction. We'll work our way into the wrist. Just interlock your fingers, close the hands, rotate the wrist. All right, good. Shaking that out. Work our way down into the torso. So just about feet shoulder width apart. Just nice and easy. Rotate the torso. Again, if you find that one side you need to maybe hold for a second or two, just get a little extra out of it, you can do that as well. All right, work our way into the hips. So keep your feet about shoulder width apart. Hands go to your hips. Nice and easy. Rotate the hips. And then the other direction. All right, work our way down to the knees. Bring your feet together. Hands on the knees, bend the knees, nice and easy. Just rotate. Then the other direction. All right, we'll work our way into the feet. So just transfer your weight to your left side. Bring your right foot on the ball of your foot and rotate at the ankle. And swap. All right, go ahead and shake that out. Now we'll nice and easy go ahead and put the feet together and just stretch down toward the floor. Again, nice and easy, just warming up the body. Bend the knees. Maybe let the back hang. And back up straight. Reach for the floor. And flex the knees, relax the back. And one more time. All right, good. Stand back up. We'll spread them out about shoulder width or a little bit longer, depending on your natural flexibility. And nice and easy, just down to the center. Worried about control here as opposed to trying to go super deep. As long as this is a controlled stretch and you're feeling the stretch in your legs, then you're probably in a good position. We're just warming up, so you don't want to stretch real hard right now, just enough to get the body warm and get all the joints moving. And take it nice and easy to the right side. Nice and easy transition to the left side. And then transition back to center. If you're feeling it, go out a little bit further, then back down to the center. Over to the right side, nice and easy. Transition slowly to the left side. Transition slowly back to center. All right, good. Bring it up. Just nice and easy. Just rotate the hips. One more time. Just get everything in motion. Okay. We'll work quick into a few calisthenics here, just get the body warm, and then we'll get into the action. So guys, we'll start push-ups first. Again, you have the option to do whatever push-ups you want to do here. Try to follow my pace, but as we're doing our pace, if you're getting maybe one for every two that we do, that's okay, right? You'll work, it's all about gaining strength over time. So try to follow the pace. If you can't, just go a little bit slower, work in, again, we get 10, you get 5, no big deal. We're going to do 2 sets of 10, so feel free to switch your push-ups halfway through if you want to. You can also switch from knees to feet throughout if you want to as well. It's totally up to you. So pick the first push-up you're going to do. Pick whether you're going to go on your knees or on your feet, or handstand push-ups if that's what you're feeling today. But go ahead and pick your first set. We'll start here. And set, net, yes, no, good, up, yo. All right, good. Switch to your next push-up. It can be the same one, or it can be different. It's totally up to you. I'm going to do the same one for my 10 here. All right, so go reset yourself back up, and 10 more. Set, net, yes. Yes. Yo. Yo. Up. Yo. All right, good. And we'll work on to our backs. Go through a couple ab workouts here. Again, you have the option to do whatever ab workout you want to do here. You can switch halfway through if you want to. I try to keep these flowing so that we do 20 right in a row. If you want to do 10, switch to something else and do 10 more. It's totally up to you as well. So go ahead and pick your first exercise or your only one. It's up to you. And we'll just do 20 here. So I might switch halfway through depending on what I got in my head. So, all right, we'll go ahead and start here. So, go, set, net, yes, go. Up, go, go, set, net, yes, go, up, go. All right, relax that, and we'll jump up on our feet, or make your way to your feet. Switch my pack. Come on, back. There we go. All right. Real quick, we'll go ahead and do a couple squats for the legs here, and then we'll get rolling. So, again, there's variations, right? I showed this last week. You can just do regular squats if you want to. You can do, let's see, you can do like burstable squats where you go down to all the way down, halfway, all the way down. If you want to, you can do, go to both sides. So you can go down on one leg, then down on the other leg. You can do where you do the squat, come up and balance challenge on the right side, do the squat, come up, balance challenge on the left side. It's totally up to you. We are going to do 20. So go ahead and pick the first one you want to do. If you want to do more than one, just switch halfway through. All right, here we go. Do, set, net, yes, yo, up, yo. Let's have more. Do, set, net, yes, yo, up, yo. All right. Now that we're all warmed up and ready to go, we'll start going through some of the defense from last week, or from last time, and then we'll get into some different ones. So, because I don't learn from my mistakes sometimes, I'm going to switch my mic out now, as opposed to waiting until he grabs me by the lapel for the first time, and I rip it off again. So, grab your partner, find yourself a spot. Warm yourself up a little bit. I'm going to run out here real quick, change my mic out, and then we'll get started.
blue? All right. Nah, right behind it. All right. Pardon our change out of gear here real quick. Where's it? There. That's it. I got it. It's like getting in and out of a mascot costume. Need 6 people and a highly trained team of engineers. Anyway, okay. So let's quick review what we talked about last week. Or I keep saying last week, on Monday. All right. So the hand I'm going to cover real quick. The choke I'm going to cover real quick, and that's where we're going to start adding in those extra variations and a little bit of detail, since we didn't spend as much time on them as we did the hands last week or on Monday. And then we'll move into some different ones here toward the end. So I'll bring my faithful assistant out here. All right, so real quick, like minute and a half overview for the hands, just to double check, right? So we got cross grab, same side grab, double grab, and two-handed grab. So cross grab, right hand grabs right hand. Again, all of these, you should step out in some sort of stance. You don't just want to stand like this, right? So I'm going to go out in a stance, and I'm going to go out with the same leg that the arm got grabbed, right? So if he grabbed my right arm, I'm not going to go like this and cross my body up. So I'm going out right side. Once I'm here, again, moving at the elbow, right? Not throwing the whole arm, just at the elbow, bringing it up, see my own hand, fist, grab, 45 pull, right toward the gap in the fingers as I distance away. Same side grab, same idea, except now when I turn the hand up, the gap's right in front of me, not 45 anymore. So same movement applies, make the fist, grab it, pull again toward me, but not toward my face, right off to the side as I move and distance from my opponent. The other one-armed grab is the two-handed grab, right? So again here, I can't do this outside-inside motion. So the weakness of the hand is still at the thumb gap, which is going to be here. So I need to go get my own hand first. And again, I'm same arm, same leg, right? So I'm not cross-bodied. I want to go in and get my hand, but I don't want to reach under the hands. I want to reach over the hands, right in the middle. Make the fist with my trapped hand. Grab, and again, drive toward him. So don't try to do it here and try pulling backwards. Drive toward and straight up, driving the elbow up the body. And then distance out, right? Remember what we said, a little clarifying detail there. If you have to push away, you don't open palm, hands out like that. That's not fun. No, that's bad. So when I get out of this, if I need it, I'll push with my elbow, right? And I'm being nice and pushing on his sternum, but I could go higher with this if I needed to get my distance back. So you have other options for distancing, but again, remember, the last thing you want to do after you escape is give them your extended arm back. It's defeating the purpose. So, and then finally we have the two-handed grab, or the double grab, excuse me, where I could go inside and see the palms and try this, but if he's anywhere close to as strong as you or stronger, it's not going to work for you. So I need that one that is highest chance of success, right? So again, I'm going to pick a side. For the purpose of the camera, I'm going to go this way so you can see. I'm going to go to my left. I'm sliding left, 45, right, to my opponent. But see how he's stretched out. So I don't want to go toward him where he's stronger. I want to go right on a straight line so that I extend his arms out 45. At the same time, I'm taking the opposite hand and meeting at the wrist, right here at the wrist notch to wrist notch. My wrist notch to his wrist notch. So step out, meet the wrist notch. Same plane, straight across, pry the hands out. And again, there's that twist, right? So as we go here and I set up and I start moving, there's a twist here and a twist, right? As I twist the hand out, as I used his hands as a bar to pry against. So that's a real quick overview of the hands. If you want more detail, go back and watch the one on Monday. We spent a lot more time on the hands in that video. So now we're going to really start looking at choke and lapel escapes. Now, these are the ones where if your opponent is taller than you, or just generally larger than you are, it's going to be a little more difficult to use some of these because some of these require leverage, a little bit of leverage to help us out, especially if there's a strength difference. So we're going to give you a couple options to break some of these holds, whether you're same size as your opponent or whether your opponent might be taller than you. If your opponent's smaller than you, these all just pretty much work. With the exception of the one escape that we'll do, which you kind of want a taller opponent for. So, but we'll go ahead and talk through it. So we're going to start again with the two-handed grab, all right, or the double-handed throttle choke, right? The two-handed throttle choke. So we're going to assume for this exercise that our opponent's the same size. All right, so we're about the same size-ish. I think he's got a little height on me, but we're about the same size. So when he grabs, our shoulders are level here, pretty much. We're about the same height here. So I can still get my arm up and across my body, and I'm able to work this out. If I was shorter, let's figure out how I'm going to do this. But if I was shorter and I try to reach up here, I might not be able to get my body turned to get all the way across his arms. So this is where height matters to a point. So if you were having trouble on Monday trying this, it could have been because your partner was taller than you. You may need a different tactic, which we'll show in a minute. So reviewing this one real quick, you're taking the arm, whichever arm, doesn't matter, and you're bringing it as high as it'll go and as close to your head as it will go. High as it'll go and as close to your head as it'll go. Not bringing your head to your hand, bringing your hand to your head. So squeeze tight as you can up here. You can see it kind of, well, you can't see because it's on that side. You can see how it moves his shoulders slightly. That's really what I need. I'm going to turn this way as I bring my body across. Drop straight down. I do this as a little bit of insurance policy for me, but you don't have to. You can just come straight up here, but I like this because I don't want him going anywhere. I want to react. So pin, turn, drop. Now, that's straight down. I went down in stance with this. I can crack off an elbow real quick. Can also kick from here if I needed to. But that's going to be your distancing mechanism after the fact to get clear of your opponent. So real quick, because I'm going to let you try this one again, because this is one we spent less time on. I'm going to ask you, see if you remember, before we get choked, and I kind of talked about it a little bit, but when you're getting choked, what's the first thing you want to do before you do any defensive action? If anybody remembers, it's the alligator neck, right? That tensing of the muscles in the neck. No matter what the choke is, well, if it's an oxygen choke and they're attacking the windpipe, you want that alligator neck involved. If they're doing some sort of blood-related choke like a triangle, the alligator neck's not going to help too much because they're not attacking here, they're attacking here. But for this type of choke, the alligator neck could give you a few extra seconds, which is really what you need in this scenario. So as soon as you see those hands coming in, you don't want to wait till they got their hands around your throat, then do it. Because now you're fighting against the strength of their fingers to get your alligator neck out there, and it might not work. It's got to be right before they get a hold of you. Now, that also doesn't mean that I walk around alligator neck into everybody I know, because you're going to get a label real quick. So it's got to be a defensive action, just like your block, right? As you're going out to block, you're stepping at the same time. Well, this has got to be part of that defensive action for your choke. So as I see him coming in, I know I'm getting choked. Now I get up there. Now I'm set for it, and then I can start working from there the different actions that I need to. All right. So I'm going to give you a few minutes here to try that two-handed throttle choke. So you can go ahead and start working on that. I'm going to go through it again while you guys are working so you can hear the steps. So he executes the choke. I got my alligator neck. making sure I'm giving myself a few extra seconds here. One hand goes straight up in the sky as high as it'll go and as tight to the head as it'll go. I start rotating the body, hand across both arms, and drop straight down. Once you're down here, draw that front elbow across, get the elbow strike and distance. All right, let's go ahead and keep playing with that. As you're doing this drill, some of the things you can run into, if that first drop doesn't work, you have to, if you're going to try it again, you have to bring your whole body back up. So a lot of times what will happen in this is, let's say I get to here and I dropped everything I got. It didn't work. Well, now people want to just start hitting with the arm. If you want to try this again, you got to get back up, right? And what you might need to do, depending on the situation, you might need to come back up, draw yourself out a little bit, and then drop again to see if you can pull him to a weaker stance. They're either going to react in one of two ways. They're either going to step with you, but there could be a moment where they lean with you. That's your opening. When they lean off balance, now you'll pull them. If you don't break their grip, you'll at least pull them toward you, and then you can start to work your way into where they can't reestablish that real heavy leverage choke. So something to consider. When this doesn't work and it goes south, you got to calmly and smartly pick your next action, because you're looking at what, 12 seconds, 10 to 12 seconds of useful consciousness, about 30 seconds of full consciousness at all, and then after that, bad things are happening. So yeah, you need to, whatever you can do to loosen grip, you do, right? So you've got other options here, but you have to be balanced for them properly, right? So, I mean, I could start working into the groin, you know, but again, you're not just doing one thing. You're not going, kick to the groin and everything else is waiting, right? If I'm here, if I'm going to the groin, I'm going to the groin and I'm dropping, trying to get these hands to separate with that moment of distraction, for lack of a better term, for the opponent, right? So I'm doing whatever I can in that moment. If it means going for the eyes, it means going for the eyes. You know, they say all is fair in love and war. Well, all is fair in love in defending yourself from getting choked to unconsciousness or worse. So you got to use what tactics are necessary to get you out of here. Now, at the same time, your duty is to escape, not to maim, right? So once you've escaped, escape. Don't worry about sitting there and beating the snot out of the guy. That's not the point. The point is to get safe. So that's why we put so much distance in between us, because we're done with this. We want to get away, right? We want to end this confrontation as quickly as possible. So if I've got to, from this position, I come in, oh man, it didn't work. If I reset, strike here as fast as I can, as well as I can, then maybe I get something to work. Now, if I stood here and just tried to clasp these, that's never going to work. That's Hollywood. That don't work, right? But if I groin kick him first, maybe. What options do I have, right? So, or I can groin kick and try it again. See if it works now. But sometimes if that opponent won't budge, you need to give them a reason to. That's a pretty good reason. All right, so now that you've had time to work on that, and that's my other thing too, and hopefully you guys have been doing this. We've been doing a lot of these classes, and this is the first time I've mentioned it, but I will talk in the middle of all of these drills because it's really awkward on a live stream to say go, and then I sit here for 4 minutes and don't do anything. It's just kind of an awkward moment for everybody. So I'm going to continue to add detail, add data during that session where you're training, you're working with your partner. So keep working with your partner the whole time till I move on to the next drill. But you can always then go back and listen to what I said during your work later on. So, okay, we are going to move on to the next drill. We're going to move into the single-handed choke. Now, this is that GAC maneuver. So that's that single hand inside. Get that alligator neck on quick. Now, again, I don't necessarily want to be this way. Wrong arms. I can't find the net. It doesn't work real well. So I've got to be here, standard, right? Orthodox, not southpaw, right? So I'm getting that hand here. I'm getting this control here, right? And I'm getting this hand to the chest, right? So go to swap hands for me once, just so they can see, right? So I'm getting underneath that meaty part of the hand right here, right? And I'm going to the chest. Now, the question you may ask is, why am I going to the chest? Why am I not going to where the target is? Well, you got to remember reactions of the opponent, right? We want to, a lot of this is lulling them into a false sense of security and superiority, right? So if he's gripping me and I'm ripping and tearing and pawing and stuff like that, he's just going to grip harder and push and do something else to put me off balance, to put me out of control. I have to make it appear as though I'm where he wants me to be, so that he's not so worried about defensive actions, right? Defending his control of the technique, right? So I have to appear slightly passive until I'm ready to strike, right? That's kind of important for this. So if he grabs me and I get this, right, I'm going to do this anyway, and he knows that. So that's not aggressive, right? I'm getting here. This is, no, stop. The worst he's probably going to do is try to paw that hand out of the way. That's all right. You paw a hand out of the way, right? I get out here, pull it out of the way. Now I go in. Now I pry. Now we work from there. So you have to appear passive until you're ready. It's an element of surprise, right? So that hand going to the chest, I'm not punching his chest, and I'm not pushing him away. I'm just setting my hand. I'm just putting my hand right where it is. It's a feeler. I know exactly where I'm going. Then all I have to do is up and in. That's the attack. And that's combined with this wrap and pull, right? This removal of that hand. Again, this is elbow down toward the ribs, not out. Right? We want to peel off, not rip. All right. It's good. Play with this at home. I'm going to kind of talk through some extra detail on this. Again, when you're doing this, it's a turn of the body, right? It's turning the hips away, trying to get extra distance in that front arm. You want from the tip of your finger to basically the back of your other shoulder, you don't want anything to go this way. You want everything to go straight toward that opponent. The reason is the more that goes this way, the more he resists that distancing mechanism, right? That fingers to the whatever part of the throat that is that's horrible, right? So the more you give this way, the more he can reestablish that control, right? The only reason this works is because I'm forcing him to, just like in the double-handed grab where I'm forcing him to open and show a weakness that I can exploit, I'm forcing him to really stretch out here so that I can exploit the weakness in the hand. I'm separating his body, which is the generation of strength for this, from the actual technique itself. So he's now relying on just his grip strength, not leverage, not gravity, not force of movement, not my balance. He's only relying on grip strength. And with motion like this, I can beat that. So that's why we've got to put everything we can to get as much distance and stretch that guy out as much as we can to make this work. So, and again, this one is, let's see, if he grabs me right, or yeah, with the left hand here, I'm going to be left leg, my left hand leads. This one's hard to track which, same arm, same leg. It's not really that. It's basically, you want your attack on the inside of the body, right? Not the outside of the body. Obviously, that kind of makes sense, right? I want my attacking hand on the inside of the body here. So, yeah, it's basically the opposite side. If he's got his, it's that same left side type of thing. Right, yeah, he goes right, I go right, you go left, I go left. So, okay, so let's come back and let's talk about the two-handed throttle choke one more time. But what if I got a taller opponent? So I can't get my arm in the right position for this, and I have to, this doesn't work. Well, what do? I let him finish the choke. No, that's the wrong answer. We're going to try something different here. So in this case, instead of trying to go real high like this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, for lack of a better term, I don't want my hands to stay out here just because there's nothing I can really do out here. I'm framed out from this. So I might bring one inside or two inside or whatever the case may be. But the first thing I'm going to do here is step back. Now, not step and slide, because that doesn't work. He's got a hold of me. So I'm just dropping 1 foot back. Now, the next thing I'm doing is I'm going to look straight down at the ground. And I'm going to go straight down toward the ground. So I'm going to go here. Now, why am I doing this? Why am, we always tell you that's never, put your head down toward the ground this way, right? You're always here, so you have a view of your opponent. Well, why would we do it now? We're releasing the choke. Look at the anatomy of the hands, right? If I'm here and you drop straight down, you're getting this action. Okay, so the choke is now turning over, and it's going to start to peel because the dexterity of the hands is not to spin around at 180 degree, right? And if you can do that, then that's impressive, and this is not going to work for us, right? But when my hands rotate down, they're going to start to separate at the thumbs, especially if I'm holding somebody's neck. So that's what we're using to our advantage. We're using that to expose the weakness. So again, I got to step a leg back, and it's important that I don't shift my hips with it. My hips stay where they are. I'm just dropping the foot straight backwards. So I'm dropping the foot backwards as I look toward the ground. Now I'm going to slide out one way toward the open side. I don't want to go this way because I've got no balance. I'm going to fall over. So I'm going this way. I'm going to end up outside the arms, not back in here. I watch people do this choke, and they'll go down here, and then they'll come right back up to here. Well, you didn't get anything. So I've got to go out one direction. So let's say I go the other way. I put the other leg out, or the other leg back. Well, now I'm going down here and out this way, right? So it doesn't matter which side you choose. Which side you choose is going to depend on where you feel you have better balance, if there's an escape on that side versus the other side, like an escape route that you might want to go toward, you have that option. But yeah, and this leg's, again, it's same leg. So whichever leg goes back, that's the direction you're coming out of. You don't want to go the other way. So one more time with this. You're here. That leg goes out. It's straight down. And you bend it at the waist, bend it at the hips line, and straight down. Now down as far as you can go, right? Not head to the floor, but at least to parallel, because you need to break this grip. Then you're rotating. You're not coming back up. You're rotating. You're U-ing underneath. Then out this way. So that's the motion. All right? So go ahead and try that with your partner and see what happens. See if this one works any better than the last one did, depending on who your partner is. And as you're going through this, you can feel, even if they're not choking you for real, you can feel when their thumbs brush your windpipe like this versus when they peel off. If they're peeling off, you're in good shape. If they're raking across, you have a problem. Okay, because again, that's where you're going to take the damage. So we don't want raking. We want it to feel like they're peeling off of you, not ripping across the throat or sliding across the throat. So as you're doing this, or any choke for that matter, or any choke escape, take note of what you feel at your throat. Same goes for basically like the hands on the back of your head, like where the fingers grip around. If you're feeling them, if you're still feeling pretty controlled on the back of your neck and it's the only thing that's broken is the thumbs, you're not getting out of the choke fully, right? You need to feel that grip loosen and be able to be moved. If not, you're not doing enough to get out of the choke, and they can reestablish by just relocking their thumbs in place. So something to be cognizant of as you're going through these motions. Make sure you're actually getting out of the choke. And you trust your partner, so you can always say, okay, give me an actual choke, or go just a little bit harder with the choke, right? Now, partners, you know what to look for if they're choking, right? Make sure you're not choking them for extended periods of time, right? And only go harder if they're asking for it, and it's in little increments, right? I'm not trying to throttle choke you. He hasn't popped my head off yet, or maybe turned colors. So you don't need that for training. So be careful with your partners, but if you want to get a little bit of a different feel to this, tell them to give just a little bit of pressure to see the difference. And that goes to your comfort level as well. All right, so that is the choke escapes that we're going to talk about. So there are 100 different ways to get out of chokes like this. But we're going to take the ones that we believe are the highest chance of success, and that's what we're going to teach you. Because you could do some fancy stuff, but they only work in certain circumstances, right? We want to give you what's going to be the highest chance of success if you're ever out there on the street and you're attacked and you need these types of things. So we're going to go into the lapel, right? So this is, there's so many things there's so many scenarios that could come out of this depending on what you're wearing, right? If you're wearing like a suit or something like this, there's a nice lapel to grab onto. It's not going to give way. If you're just wearing a standard t-shirt, it may rip, it may adjust, you may not get and they may get a better grab of it than they would something like this. So the hold's going to be different. The level of grip strength of the person is going to be different. So all of these things are going to be varying levels of difference in difficulty. The key is the mechanic should stay the same, whether they have grip of a t-shirt or a suit, jacket, or a uniform like this. The mechanic stays the same, the technique stays the same, and obviously the goal is still the same, right, to get the grip off. So we're going to go into a single lapel grab first, then we'll move into two-handed lapel grabs. All right. So the single lapel grab is just as you see here. Now, like I say, there's a lot of ways that you can make this work. And some may not work for you, right? I mean, there's stuff you could do as simple as trapping and breaking, right? Trying to break through this. Don't attack the inside of the arm. That's a very Hollywood thing to do, and it generally isn't going to work. Now, there's pressure point stuff you can do at the elbow, the elbow, at the bicep, bottom of the bicep, things like that. But again, we're going high chance of success, not something that's going to take a lot of stuff to work. Because that hand's waiting. You don't like that hand. I don't like that hand at all, right? So, because if they're grabbing you like this is going to be here for a little bit, and then that hand's going to start working. So we need something that's quick, efficient, and that's going to put us in better position. So what I'm going to do is establish a grab on the other side of the hand, right? So not toward the thumb, toward the back of the hand. Get all the way around. And I'm going to rock this way. Now, for training purposes, he's letting go, right? To show the movement, right? So it's not that easy, right? But that's the motion, right? So we're coming out here and we're going to turn it over and it's going to peel, right? We're peeling the grip off that way. Now, let's talk about what we do down here, right? Because obviously if I just stand here and I'm not going to get anything done. We'll be here forever. And it will knock me out, 6 ways from Sunday. So we're going to use that concept of elongating the body here, right? So what I like to do here is take a little step back with this. Opposite hand, opposite foot. So I don't want to go this way. That's going to turn me the wrong way. So if my left hand's coming on top, my right foot's going out, right? If it was the other hand, it would be this way. Okay? So but for sake of camera, we're going to do this side. So I'm going to grab underneath here. I'm getting all the way under. You can see my fingers are all the way under. I don't want to stop on top of the hand. All the way under. I'm going to get grip. And now what I'm going to do is elongate the body and do tight rotation here. Tight rotation there to get this to here. Now notice where I'm at. It's against my chest, right at the center of my chest, and it's positive pressure on the wrist. Right? So I don't want to let this go to where it's not bent. I want 90 degree if I can get it, positive pressure, and I'm keeping both hands in charge here. Right? Now, when I'm done with this, press it and leave it, right? I'm not here to cause problems, right? If I need that, see that the problem is you could do a lock there and hold them, but you can break as well. But the second you don't have positive pressure on that technique and they catch you while you're distracted, they're out. And now you're back to square one. So it's not about holding them there and making them dance and do all this kind of stuff. It's get free and get gone, right? Regardless. So this is a little more complicated. So let's play with this one again. So I'm here, right? Same time. Because what I don't want to do is go, because now he's just going to move toward me, right? Or something. He's going to do something else. Are we good camera angle-wise? Okay. All right. So I got to establish right away this way. Because it's going to be settle and go. Right? Now, what I don't want to do here, again, is I don't want to go and then turn, right? It's all one motion. It's as soon as this hand meets here, I'm turning to here, right? Now, that brings up a good point. The further you step, you have to be able to twist and land in balance here. You can't go, let's see if I can do this. You can't go here and then start to turn and kind of pull yourself this way, right? Because he's still got a grip on you, so there's going to be a little bit of manipulation there. So it's not a huge step out here. It's a small step. So it's a small step here. And notice I don't want to go straight back. I want to go a little bit 45-ish, slightly. Not exactly 45, but a little bit back there. So I'm going a little bit back, then turning to here. And then I'm going to step into it this way, okay, to lock it into place. So in the air, it kind of looks here, turn it, and then step into it slightly to get them to push back and get that shoulder in more of a locked position. All right, so go ahead, play that a little bit. Let's see where you get to. I'm going to talk through some quick detail on that one. Again, it matters where you grab the hand, right? Or top. So I don't want to stop on the top of the hand. I want to get all the way under so that I can get it turned over. Because you got to get inside the grip. If it's gripped like this, and I just put my hand right to here, I'm not going to get anywhere. I need to get inside that grip and loosen that up so that I can then pull the hand out. This one is a little situational, right? If the guy's got big hands, you got real small hands, you can't get in that grip, you can't loosen that grip out, it's going to be a little more difficult for you. So you're going to have to work toward the break or work towards a distraction measure to then get to where you need to go, right? And, like I say, defense is never black and white. Who's to say that you couldn't from here get that groin kick and then break this area here and start working inside? You maybe. Depends on the situation, right? Depends on what your opponent's reactions are and if you catch them at the right time. But again, we're finding this moment where we can get behind that grip, get behind that in that meat of that hand, and then again, it's elbow toward the ribs, not straight out. Elbow toward the ribs as I pull and elongate the body here, and then step back into it to secure it. You don't need to have that hand all the way. You don't need to have it hanging out here. He had another finger or so on, but when I step into that, I'm going to be able to kick that other finger off. So it's not a matter of you got to get that whole hand pried off and hanging out here. You need to get it started to where the weakness is exposed and then exploit. So, right. You got pressure all the way down the arm, and 3 different joints are now being stacked up and locked up. And that's what's going to give you the escape. So, just something to consider. Okay, let's talk real quick about the 2 other double-handed lapel grabs, and maybe we'll get to one. We'll see. So we're going to talk about there's 2 variations to this. Variation number 1 is the easier version, where the elbows are not underneath and locked. They're a little bit, not outward like this, they're just neutral. They're at a neutral position. If they're at a neutral position, I cannot break it from in here. They don't give right. And I can't lock the body up the way it's supposed to. So I need to go to the outside. So what do? I come in here and I go, no, not a chance. Not a chance on this earth. So we're going to pull a mechanic from earlier in the video. If you recall the two-handed or the double grab of the wrist, right? So we went out here. That's exactly what we're going to do. The difference is we're gonna be attacking basically one hand at a time, as opposed to taking the hands and kind of turning out of both of them. So first thing I'm going to do is 45 step again, right? I need those arms to elongate and go 45. If they don't, I'm back into the strength of his body. At the same time, I'm taking the opposite hand. And again, I'm meeting at the wrist notch to wrist notch. Now, I'm going to use this hand for extra leverage and control because I need this hand to stay where it is. Now, this is super important that you maintain the same plane. You don't dip in any direction here. I need to go straight across and pry this way. So here, what? You get my back? We'll go this way. I still think you get my back. Anyway, we'll go, so we'll do it this way. So here, step, meet it here. Now again, don't go this way. You're going back to his strength. It's no good. You need this angle right here. This straight to 45 angle here. You need that. And all I'm doing is I'm rotating the body. My hands are staying on the same plane. And I'm just coming across this way. And I'm pressing through this attack here. Now notice what stance I went into. I don't want to go here because he's still right there. And that's not good. I don't want him to be there. I'm afraid of him being there. Right? So when I break, and I break off here, he's still there. So I either need to, I'm going to go this way just so you can see. I either need to distance again, right? And the only reason I'm using outstretched hand there is because they were already there from this break. I have to go extended arms to do this. Otherwise, I wouldn't want this, right? But I'm coming off of that. I'm not pushing off of him this way. I'm basically working this as protection for my head. So I either need to come out here, break the grip, and extend and work off, or I need to attack and do it quick. So I have to be in a stance that allows me to do something. So try it. Yeah. This is a good opportunity here. So while you're doing that, what happens if he goes with me? We vary it, right? So I go this way. He follows me. Now I shift out, work the other side. I just turn it around. You play this game of hippity hop with the guy. Now, you don't want to play the game of hippity hop for more than about 3 or 4 turns because you're going to get in trouble. And it's not a hop. It's not a, gallop over to here because you're going to get taken off the ground, especially by anybody who knows how to sweep. It's a shift. Hyun Sandan, for those of you that know it, have that movement in it. Here. Same idea. I'm shifting. Right? So I shift, he moves, I shift and turn. But I have to be able to adjust stance on the fly. So very, very important that you're following that if something bad happens. All right, now let's talk about the final one. This is the typical high school, in the movies, the high school gets you up against the locker type of lapel grab, right? It's the underneath twist and really tight lapel grab. So he's got both hands in, those hands twist under. Now we're here. Ooh. Well, I can tell you right now, just from the feel of this, there's no way in heck I'm going to be able to do this. I'm stuck here. This is not good. Not happy. So what I'm going to do is come inside the body here. See the hands? Inside. And I'm going to go straight for the ceiling with everything I've got. I'm going straight for the ceiling. So I'm going straight up through. Right? Now, that's the escape, but there's more to it. If that was your goal and you got away, you still need another step because you got to remember one thing. This is a committed technique. This is everything you got behind this motion that as soon as it breaks, you're going into him a little bit. So you can't just go here and go, I'm done, because I'm falling this way. Especially if I had to put everything behind it. So I've got to protect myself. So what's the rule? I'm either in their pocket or out of state. Well, I can't be out of state now. I'm going into him. So I've got to commit, and I've got to go into him. but there's a way we're going to do it where we're going to control the body and make sure that he's not going to hit me in the process, right? Because what are the weapons? Here and here. He can headbutt me, right? Now I'm taking the legs out of the equation. I'm too close. Maybe a knee, but even then, I'm going into the body this way, so I'm a little more protected. Here, elbows, fists, head, weapons, all weapons. I need to isolate them. So when I go up through and I'm pressing, I'm unlocking this, right at the elbow notch, right here. Down, hug them tight, and get your head off center. Get your head off to the side here. Yeah, we should go this way. Where you going?
Just south face.
Okay. So once we're here, heads off of center. Right up against that shoulder here, right? If I leave this thing here, he's going to headbutt me. And I don't want that. So I'm going off to the side here. And I'm keeping control of these arms right above the elbow notch. If I go below the elbow notch, he can pull his hands right out. And I'm in some major trouble. Right? So I need that notch. I need that real tight click in there. So let's go through the breaker. I braked it here. I broke it here, finding that elbow notch. I'm grapevining. I'm snaking around here and bringing it in tight to the body here, as tight as I can get it here, hugging my own arms here and getting that head off to the side. This is real tough with a mic. Off to the side here, this way. Now look at my foot placement. Not inside the body, outside the body. Because from here I can twist him and take him to the ground. I'm not going to do that, but I can. So in the air, it's here. You're braking. You're braking, and it's not brake. Brake. I need everything I got. As soon as you brake, you might have to shuffle a little bit to get closer to him. But you got to get in there and do it, right? So brake. Twist. Go. Try it. This is one where if you are a smaller opponent, this may not work for you because you have a lot of work. If they're grabbing you like this, it's going to be hard for you to get all the way up here to get that broken. So this is where you're going to need help. And again, you got to do whatever you're going to take to get you to break that grip off, right? Now, the arms are already inside this way. So you may, if you can get a distraction, be able to get them close to the body this way. Right? And I can get a little bit of a distance thing this way. Now, he's still got a hold of me. I'm still in trouble, but I'm real close. So now I can start kneeing here and start playing a little bit to try to get some extra distance out of that. Get something going for me. But again, that's what it's about. It's about getting something going for you. You need to get to where you can expose a weakness, any weakness. And it might have to be a chain. It might have to be you expose weakness A to get you to weakness B to get you to an escape. But those are the sequences you have to follow. It's never black and white. Defense has never been black and white. So, okay. And end your drill. Go ahead, buddy or partner. We'll end it out here real quick. Oh, let me give you this spot there. So that was sort of an introduction to escapes. Excuse me. So last Monday we handled all the wrist grabs, spent a lot of time on them. Today we focus more on the choke and lapel. There are so many others, right? There's escape from headlock, escape from bear hug, escape from the combat sports special, right? The rear naked choke. There's escapes from all different kinds of holds and things that can happen. And all of these that we just did could also be where they're up against a wall. So now you can't back up. You can't use that pullback that you can do there. So now you have to adjust slightly. So there's so many variations and things you can do to make this more difficult. And those are the things you have to do to see if you can make them work in all situations. You never do defense against the same guy all the time, right? You need to pick a guy that's taller than you sometimes. You need to pick a guy that may be a little shorter than you sometimes, right? Just because you need to see the differences between the techniques. So vary your defensive partners from time to time once we're out of the COVID-19 thing and we can be within 6 feet of each other again. vary your partners, and vary vary your locations, right? Vary where you are, put yourself at a disadvantage, see what you can do with it. So that's really a defensive introduction, right? So drop us a line, tell us what you guys want to see starting next week. We'll try to move away from defense for a little bit. Unless you guys want to do more, we can adjust and find some different things. But drop us a line, let us know what you guys want to see next. Other than that, appreciate you all being here today. We'll hope to see everybody again Monday. And I'm Corey with CVMA. We'll see you again next time.